I'm not going to follow the trend in asking you to subscribe, share and comment before you've actually watched the video. I'd prefer to give you something first before asking for anything in return. So today I'm going to share with you a strategy for woodworking that I devised over 40 years ago when teaching in schools, and I then called it the 7 stages of making a woodwork article. In fact, it is included in my book called Woodwork Now. Woodwork then? Well, although much woodworking today involves power tools and procedures for, say, marking out are quicker and easier, I personally believe that learning hand skills first gives you a very good grounding in woodwork, not least about the character of the material that you're using. So my strategy aims to simplify the complexity of woodworking and help you succeed in any project that you undertake in understanding the general sequence of tasks or operations. It is more a skeleton strategy with exceptions or shortcuts, such as if you are making a turned object on the lathe. And there are some overlaps and interchangeability that I'll now explain. So let's look at the 7 stages. Preparation of timber. You may buy it already prepared or dressed, or you will have some hand tools or machines to do it, but the wood should be accurate before you start making a project. And that means all surfaces should be flat, all adjacent surfaces should be square, and all opposite surfaces parallel. So it's very simple. Now, to prepare the timber by hand is time consuming, but it is a valuable skill to acquire. Using power tools is much quicker, and a small plane of thickness such as this is absolutely invaluable. Of course, if you are using plywood, then it's already prepared, so to speak. Marking out. Well, this applies to the majority of woodwork projects and should be done precisely and with an implement that is clear and consistent. So forget a pencil, but use a ballpoint pen. It involves measuring and shading waste portions ready for the cutting operations. Now, curves can be achieved in various ways, and the golden rule with marking out is always to shade waste. Do it this way and you will clarify the line that you want to cut to. It's really worth taking time over this. Cutting operations. Well, they include sawing, chiseling, using an abrading tool, drilling, routing, etc. to form the features of the piece you are making, and that might involve joints, or it might involve shaping certain features. But always think about the most efficient tool or method to use. Don't get stuck in tradition for its own sake if you've been taught the traditional methods. Assembly, not school assembly. This usually means clamping together the components of a project and involves G-clamps or sash clamps or even masking tape, which I use a lot. Assembling a dry run first is essential because once you start gluing up, you're committed to it and you're working against the clock. Gluing up. This applies to most projects, but sometimes you might simply screw a piece together. It's important that you prepare everything in advance, such as having all the clamps open and have a damp rag handy for cleaning off glue. It's easier to clean off the glue before rather than after. Cleaning up. Well, that means sanding, planing or scraping the surfaces to get rid of the preparation marks. And of course, for internal surfaces, you'll do this before you glue up. Finishing. This means an appropriate protective coating that also enhances the grain and the look of the piece. Some people like the smell of wax, but in open grain timbers, such as oak, wax can attract dirt, so you need to apply the appropriate finish for the wood and also for the purpose of the piece. And that might be an oil, a lacquer, or a paint. Whereas traditionally internal surfaces of, say, a small box would be finished before gluing and clamping, I generally do it all in one operation right at the end. And of course some finishes can be sprayed on. and most finishes today are of course water-based. Now this is a very basic guide, and you know what, it should really be 8 stages, because the very first stage in planning a project is to select the material. Now that lends itself to a separate video. So I hope you find this useful. Please use the comments section if you have any questions, and I always endeavour to answer them. So thanks for watching.